Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today by none other than Cozy Snap. Cozy, we got Pixel albums coming to Marvel Snap, so I have to ask you, what are some of your top Pixel variants that you have? And maybe I'll get you, or even myself, to do a dramatic reading of the Pixel.
Dude, I am glad that we're having a use for the Pixels finally. Like, it's finally happening. I can't believe it. Favorite Pixel? Ooh, I have so many good ones. Okay, we got to start with the clear-cut winner, the Chad of the Pixels, man. Like, the guy that if you look up sexy in the dictionary, it just has a picture of Agent Coulson pixelized. I mean, just an absolute a gem. Can we both agree or no?
Absolutely, and for the audio listeners, it's Agent Coulson, pixelated but sexy as hell, wearing a beautiful blazer, leaning in to what is going to be the most accurate revolver shot of all time.
He could be holding a microphone or he could be a Lego man, and I think that's why. It's the wonderment that really gets me. I also have a shout out to give to Jubilee. I think Jubilee has a really just kind of like anything that can look like a Super Nintendo, you know, like straight out of that.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's my definition, and there's only a couple that hit that, but Jubilee. What about you? What is yours? I probably have it, I'm sure.
Whoa, I didn't do the dramatic reading of the Jubilee for the audio listeners. What are we doing here? So it's Jubilee running towards the camera in a Stardew Valley-esque pose, ready to cause some havoc.
Beautiful. I was gonna be the guy, you know, that does the special effects behind you. Was for the visuals, you know, for the visual listeners. What about what is yours, buddy?
Oh, come on, Crystal. Do you have the? You got to have the Crystal. The Crystal's unbelievable.
Right up there, ready to go.
Yeah, it's one of the absolute nicest ones as well, and it's Crystal floating amongst rubble and debris, with fire and ice in hand. A song of ice and fire, one might say.
Oh my gosh, Game of Thrones coming at you hot. I love it that you have cards that we've mentioned, and then you have things like, I love this onslaught where it looks like, I don't know, like 2 flashlights in this guy's eye. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. But finally, guys, we have a use of our pixels, buddy, and the emotes to go with it also look pretty damn good. January final rankings, man. I'm nervous about this one. We had some, you know, some takes on January, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot going on this past month. And we talked about some major cards coming out, and it's hard to predict the value and the power of cards in advance. But I got to tell you, it's been a pretty cool month with some ups, with some downs, and some surprises as well. Right off the top, okay, let's talk about it. Kyra. Now, I had given Kyra a 5-star rating. I went all the way to the moon with Kyra, and you, my friend, gave her a 4.5 star, right? Your classic 0.5, you know, dip either way. I get it. Cozy, where does Kyra land for you ultimately?
Yeah, man. Kyra, when we talked about Kyra, we kind of had that gut feeling that she was going to be just useful, like moving forward in Marvel Snap, and I think I kind of still tend to agree. I have her around it's still like a 4.5. 4 is kind of just like the gut, what I had down there. So I'm going to go with that, because at times it just doesn't curve out, you know, perfect and isn't in every deck that I thought I could go into. But also, I have lost games because I have a Shang-Chi ready to kill Magneto, and I can't do it. So I give her about a 4 now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. 4-star is where she goes. I think where she definitely had an impact is you're seeing her replace core components of existing strong decks. Like, strong archetypes are adding Kyra in as a core piece. Remember, anytime you have a card that can come out and replace, a card in a top performing deck, and there's only 12 cards in that deck, it's done its job. So I do lean towards, like, in terms of like meta relevance, I would say near 5 stars. It's 10% of the meta, nearly a 52% win rate. That's about as good as you can get, while also not infuriating the entire audience base, right? Like, it's a great release because it does what it's supposed to do. It's effective, but it's not annoying.
And then with Black Swan, you just got this, right? You've got this going up and up and up, because I'm telling you, people just undermine the stones and Thanos, but once you start getting a lot of those out there and you protect them, it gets really tough. And it's just, Kyra is just kind of like, she reminds me of Ebony Blade. She's just, her ongoing, it's an ongoing effect, but it's so, like, it's not worth your time to rogue it, right? Or enchantress it most of the time, and it's just awkward to deal with. She's an awkward card to deal with, right? A good chunk of the time. So yeah, Kyra, 4-star. I went from 4.5 to 4. You went 5 to 4. Love to see it. What's the next one?
The next card is, we'll say, Well, Grandmaster. Let's talk about Grandmaster here. Grandmaster came out, and I mean, it was a card that you and I were pretty hyped for. You gave it a 4 on the low end, a 5 on the high end. It was one of your most anticipated cards of the month. I came in at 4 stars. Cozy, I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on this because I think this has been a very, we'll say, a card that has a lot of varying opinions.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking within the month for the month, definitely went a little bit of hot. Saw a bit more potential for him than what he ended up being. Looking forward into the future of Snap and him as a card. Still love him. Still has a 4-star rating for me. Feel great about it. That's probably where I land out for him.
I think this is one of my top cards of the month. I played an absolute insane amount of Grandmaster. The statistics don't lie though. At a 47% win rate, a negative cube rate overall, and 9% of the meta. 9% would indicate that people tried him. People tried him across different decks, and at a 47% win rate, that's low. That's low. Remember, Coccia was at 52%. But even the top performing decks were still running 54%, 53%. Like they were good, but they're not going to shatter the meta, right? And he was a good additional piece to something like a Ronin deck, for instance, because the double Master Mold play was what Ronin needed. But then again, Ronin as an archetype wasn't quite there. So if Ronin was better, for instance, Grandmaster would lift, right? I found it best performing in decks that utilized, disruption. Anytime you're Grandmastering a Rockslide, Grandmastering a Black Widow, Grandmastering Master Mold, those were where it really shone. Not so much that I'm going to Grandmaster Arnim Zola type thing, which was a little on the kind of greedier side of things. But ultimately, I came in at 4 stars. You came in at 4 to 5. I would say that this is probably, in terms of statistics, a 2-star. But I would be willing to say that I believe it actually is a 3 to 4 star going forward. There's going to be a day where there's going to be the deck that's running a 61% win rate, and it's going to have Grandmaster in it.
I love it. You're skipping on Scar. We got Scar. I thought we were going to go in order. We start with Coccia. We've got a Grandmaster. Where's the Season Pass card?
Well, I had them kind of randomly listed. You want to talk about Scar next? We can talk about Scar next. Lead the way.
I feel like Scar, because I like Scar, because I feel like he's such an interesting card as far as people's opinions on him as well, right? Like, he's going to be a card that's going to adjust well into Snap. Same thing. But again, we looked at it, we saw that cost 2 less, and we were like, freaking out. We're like, another cost? But it was kind of tougher to get him on curve all the time and have him in the right decks and slot it in there. But he's working as intended in the Thanos, in the Destroy decks. What did we give him?
We both gave him 4 stars. We gave him 4 stars, which honestly, I don't think is far off. Like, he's not flashy. He didn't come out and completely mess everything up, but he's been in a lot of decks, right? He's been a good addition to those decks. He's running a 52% win rate, which is pretty solid. The win rates have been very compressed this season. I think it's been one of the most competitive metas we've had. And it's a 15% meta share. Like, that is not insignificant.
Yeah. I mean, I would say 3.5 is probably where I land on right now for Scar. That feels, at least in the usage that I give him. And, he's definitely a tick up from, Shaw. I'd never say Shaw anymore, right? Whereas I think Scar will still remain around there, in comparison. And I love it when someone looks at Black Swan and all the second unit does is release broken card. It's like, I don't know. We've had some pretty bad Season Pass cards as of late, Not saying Scar's bad, but in comparison, right, altogether. But yeah, I think Scar's about a 3.5.
Yeah, and I mean, is Scar not a perfect Season Pass card release if you think about it?
Yep.
We give him so much heck about oh, look at Loki and look at Elsa. Those were the 2 really big misses. Yep. We had Phoenix Force, we had Dawkins, which was beyond fair. We had we got Scar. So Scar is not problematic, and he's in 15% of the meta, but no one's damn it, Scar's got to get nerfed. So he just came in, quietly did improve some decks. He's just been worth it, right? And I think that it's a very, very clean launch and well executed by Second Dinner.
For sure. And sadly, once we leave Scar, I guess we have one more decent one, but we kind of head towards the downhill slope on some of these other cards, man. And I'm actually kind of curious, what did we give them looking at it? Because, listen, what we're trying to do here is when we talk about a card to the fullest extent, even something like Meek, we're trying to find every reason why you would want to get Meek because... Yeah, sitting here and be like, hey, Meek's gonna suck. It's just it just doesn't do any. There's no conversation there. So I love that even as bad as cards look, we still try to give it a shot to see if they can be somewhat competitive. I think Martyr, though, we kind of just were like, yep, she sucks, moving on. But what's the next one? What do you want to go with?
Well, we may as well talk about Meek. You were just talking about Meek yourself there. Meek, you actually did not rank. You did not officially throw the stars out there.
Okay.
I think you were too busy poo-pooing on it. So we'll say Cozy gave it a 1 star. And I gave it a 3. And Cozy's disagreeing. Cozy didn't give it a 3 star. I think what your language you were giving it was like a conservative, like 2 to 3 range.
Yeah, I think 2.5 is what I gave it on the video release for him. And that's probably where I stick with it. Maybe maybe 3 in discard, 2.5 outside of that. Hey, listen, the cool thing about Meek is we're going to know immediately in the month of February if he's truly going to fit with the others in discard, right? Like, I don't know if he goes into the Bills with Corvus and Proxima Midnight, but where are we landing at Meek now? Where do you have him?
I say he's a 3-star card. I mean, he's garbage everywhere else. He's a very niche specific card, but if you're playing Meek outside discard, then that's just copium. Like, honestly, like you have to play him in discard. How is he bad? Like, people are saying, oh, Meek is dog crap. Like, he's a horrible card. He's a 1/6, like, very commonly. How is that bad? How is a 1/6 bad? Like, I don't really see it. The effect in the movement could be somewhat irritating, yes. Okay, there's that random nature of it. His movement is, like, very difficult to kind of coordinate, I found sometimes. But then again, like, turns to pure stats and power, he puts up the power. Like, what else do you want? Like, how big do you want a 1-cost card to get? Honestly.
I think the only thing I don't like about him, because everything you said is true, and you just have to play with like coordinates of what you're trying to do, and like you have to close a location down. I think when Proxima comes out, right, then she goes into the worst lane, maybe that makes Meek move even to the other lane that you whatever, right? Like, I think it's going to kind of even itself out. The only reason I don't like him is because of Chavez's removal and discard. Like, even if you get Blade on turn 6, we're like, okay, well, I have another fuel engine of maybe getting up my Morbi, whatever. Truly one of the worst cards to get late, right? Like, unless you've got the MODOK into Meek. Outside of that, he's the value you want. I'm going to give him a 2.5 for now. He has the month of February to really prove to me otherwise. But yeah, Meek does his role. He does his role for discard.
Statistically very weak though, 49% win rate, positive cube rate, but just ever so slightly, and only 1% of the meta. So people clearly skipped out on this week and just didn't feel like Meek was worth it because discard's being played. You're seeing a lot of discard. Black Knight is still one of the kind of major meta players out there. It's not like the top tier right now. I think it's been steadily kind of falling a little bit. But Meek's not making those decks, not even close. So very interesting to see Meek flounder ever so slightly. That'll bring us to Hercules. Hercules coming in. Now, this is quite funny. I gave it a 2-star. You gave it a 2.5. Cozy, I know it's only 0.5, but you came in hotter on this hunk of trash. So I'm going to leave it to you to defend it. What's up with Hercules?
It's kind of like Spider-Man 2099. I feel like the archetype is in a tougher spot rather than just the card. Or 7, I'd still give him a 2.5 inset archetype. He's probably a 2 stars where I ultimately land him at. Move just needs some other source of power, and that's what needs to happen. He can go over the top. You can definitely have some fun with him. But at the end of the day, you're playing a move archetype deck, and it just gets kind of pushed out, right? So that's ultimately where I land. I was hoping they would have gone for less power, cheaper cost. They went for more power, and now that we got that in Spider-Man 2099, like, we don't need that. We don't. We want to be able to cheaply play some of these cards. So yeah, 2 stars where I'd land out, probably.
I'm giving him 1. I think it's a trash heap. I don't know why you'd want to play him. I just don't see it. The 4/7 stat line's not even good enough. I get it. You go, oh, the dagger play. Like, there's the pop-off plays. Not worth it. It's just not worth it. I would rather have, okay, you could play Hercules and do a pop-off with dagger and with, absorbing man and all the absorbing man. Maybe even absorbing man. I don't, the pop-off remove. Oh, I got dagger to 24, 25 or whatever the hell it's going to get to now. And it's like, oh, look how great this is. And then that's cool. Or you could play Shuri, Red Skull Taskmaster.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The move archetype.
The amount of effort that goes into it's insane.
Yeah. It's a move archetype, 100%. It's at a, we've kind of stated this before. It's the hardest one to balance because what are they going to do? If they make it to, I love they gave Heimdall a PowerPoint. Well, yeah, right? But we need them to truly take a risk on move, even if it's for a week or two, to just see what happens when you go a little bit hard on maybe tweaking the dial a bit more than they should, just to see what world that looks like in move. And we continue to see Doctor Strange. We're like, whoa, we keep seeing this, but it's still landing flat. We've got, I'm hoping, because we already know March, I think officially on Tuesday, we'll get to see the data mine on April season. And we just hope, I hope there's a move card in there that actually builds up stat.
Perhaps. I mean, don't forget that Ghost Spider used to be a 2-drop as well. It got brought down
Yep.
to 1, which increases the combo. They've been slowly upticking the whole archetype as a whole. That on one note though, and we're going to talk about it. By the way, Hercules 48% win rate, negative cube rate, 0.6% of the meta, less than 1%, absolutely dead card. But talking about data mines, it's worth knowing that things are changing as they're releasing in the data. Data mines cannot be held reliable. Like we see the Black Swan, right? And the next card we're going to talk about was Beta Ray Bill. In our defense, when Beta Ray Bill was originally being discussed on our podcast, it was a 4-5. I gave it a 2. You gave it a 3. Okay? That's as a 4-5. Prior to release, it goes to a 4-6. When you have an ability that doubles its power, that's a pretty significant change, right? Because the baseline was, you can get, 410 stats or 411 technically with the Stormbreaker, or 412 or 413 if you consider the Stormbreaker as well. That's a big difference, right? I'd be interested in having you lead the way on this for Beta Ray Bill because I got a lot I want to say.
No, I'm gonna let you. I'm passing the baton to you because this is your card. I've got my Grandmaster. This is your I know you like Beta Ray Bill, so I'll let you. I'm passing back. You gave me the ball. I'm like, no, you.
Okay, so what I'm going to tell you right now is that I feel like I missed the mark on Beta Ray. I'm so happy that I'm wrong though. I give him a 2-star, and that was a 4-5, so give me a little bit of leeway there. This has been my favorite card of the month. It's been my favorite card of the month. I can't tell you how much I love Beta Ray Bill. It's been so fun. I'm kind of worried about Supergiant ruining my Jane Foster, my Lady Jane. I'm worried about that.
Happen, yeah.
I've loved this deck. I've loved it. And I've loved Beta Ray Bill. I think he's been fun. I think that he needs a voice line though. Like, come on, what are we doing here? And while I was playing Thor, why does the froggy Thor not make froggy sounds? You know the Throg Thor, like why is it not going like gurgle, gurgle? What's the frog say? Ribbit, ribbit?
Gerber.
Yeah, missed opportunity. I said gerbil, gerbil. That's not what frogs say, right? It's ribbit, ribbit.
Like a hamster. Ribbit. Yeah. Hey, can I just say this? Both of our favorite cards, like Grandmaster and Bill, are the most fun cards of the month by far. Like they both brought a lot of fun to Marvel Snap. I know people that picked up the game again because of Bill. Like he's that fun of a card. So what are you giving him now?
For me, it's a 5-star personally, but as a whole, I think he's a 4. I think he's a 4. For me, I would buy this card. If it was 10,000 credits, I'd buy it again with a smile on my damn face. I love the card, and we nailed it on the Snapchat. We nailed it. We talked about as we always do. We talked about the lockjaw, but we literally said, hey, look at the curve. Look at the curve. You could, have a deck where it's Zabu, right? You have Zabu, then you have Thor, you have Beta Ray, you have Jane, and then you have Odin. Why do you even need Lockjaw, right? The crazy thing about that is you can play the Mjolnir and the Stormbreaker into the Odin. It's boom, 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 pop-ups all over the place, right?
Yep.
I love this card. This has been one of my favorite cards released in recent memory. I don't care if it's underperforming. I don't care if it's overperforming. By the way, 52% win rate, so it is performing. I love this damn card, and people agree it's running 15% of the meta. I'm glad that Beta Ray Bill's getting work done.
I'll give him a 3.5. So I have him at 3.5. I think. What did I give him before that?
How dare you?
What did I give him?
You had given it a 3-star, so you actually came in higher than me.
Yeah.
I was lower than you at the start.
Yeah.
And now I am like literally preaching to the choir of Beta Ray Bill. I love this card.
He's
You're coming poo-pooing at 3.5.
3.5 is a great rating. There's 1.5 left for a perfect card. I think, I like him better in ladder than I do in conquest. The over the course of like a conquest match, it just, you need that predictability. Unless you can suck him in for that 8-cuber, and then you're like really looking good. Very predictable in his play lines. Right? I'm just talking about the cons to start, right? Pretty predictable in his play lines. If you don't get the combo wombo, you're done. You're screwed most of the time. That's where I don't like him. Everywhere else, I do. I like him a lot. Now, what I didn't love is like, I don't love him going into like decks that are already performing and then like he goes in there. It's funny because we said he wasn't flexible, but then we did talk about the combo package being flexible. So Jane, Thor, and Bill. And that is proving to be true. You can start now swapping that into a bunch of different decks, and it's performing at a pretty damn high level. And what we, I think, alluded to then as well is that, like, you have a card that single-handedly can win the lane by himself, right? Like, single-handedly win the lane by himself. So you gotta love it. I think, dude, 3.5 I like him a lot. I do truly think he's a fun card. He's a good card. A little bit limited at sometimes and can be stopped at sometimes, but the dude's punching up. He's doing a good job.
100%, but he's like over 20 regularly.
Yeah.
Regularly over 20.
There you go.
And the Asgard package is good, right? I think the Asgard package is good with, as the 4 cards talk about, Jane Foster, Thor, Beta Ray, and Odin. That's like kind of like, if you think about like package and Snap, you have like the Annihilus package, right? You have the Hood, Sentry, and then you have Annihilus. You have the Darkhawk base package. And as you start kind of mixing and matching these packages, suddenly you're like, things work pretty damn well here. And of course, being a 4-cost card, Zabu synergy, you're able to sneak in some Miss Marvel, sneak in some Shang-Chi. It's just very well balanced. I love Beta Ray. I can't speak highly enough of him. I still feel a little insulting even with 3.5, but maybe one day Cozy will come around and admit that Beta Ray is at least a damn 4. Cozy, miss me with this 0.5 stuff, man. He's a 4-cost. Cozy's saying 4-cost. That's what I'm going with on the record here. Then that takes us to our next topic. Cozy. Our next topic. I refuse to let you
You're
give
wild.
Beta Ray
I love
3.5.
it. Oh, I love it. I over here, he's like, Grandmaster on paper's a 2, and I'm over here like, 3.5 is a pretty good card. No, hey, it's all right. It's all right. He's dumpster. I mean, wait, he's great. He's good. What do you want me to say? I forgot. He's a 5-star card, everybody. He's the best card in the game. Yeah, he's definitely fun, man, and I think he is. Oh boy, Super Giant could be tough for him though. Super Giant could be tough, but fun factor.
It's gonna be tough for a lot of people.
Top of the charts for fun factor, no question about it.
Let's talk about our favorite cards of the season, Cozy. Now, last season was a ton of fun. Some of us love Beta Ray Bill, and it was my 4-cost, so I'll pick another one. But yes, Beta Ray Bill was a ton of fun, as were a bunch of other cards as well. So Cozy and I, we're going to going through our top cards at every single cost in this past season. What we loved turning to for the cubes, for the fun, and for just overall in our play. Cozy, we're starting at cost 1, and I'll pass it to you.
I was gonna ask if you want to play a game in that we both guess each other's first. All right, so try to guess what they've been playing, and in general yours and mine. Right. So my guess for you, Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham was number 1. Absolutely, Spider-Ham was it, Cozy. I mean, what gave it away?
Well, dude, I know you so well. I just know you. I was just like, because I feel like. Whenever I was attending regularly the Church of Spider-Ham, and I was like, hey, he's pretty good. He's not that bad. Like I saw you like slowly convert, slowly and slowly. And I don't know. I've seen some Spider-Hamness from over Alex there on Twitch, and I'm like, he's picking Spider-Ham. I'm pumped. I nailed that, dude. Okay, what's mine? What do you think mine is?
Oh man, okay, so I wasn't prepared for this. You hit me with a bit of a curveball. I might be wrong, but I want to throw Forge out. I'm wondering what you feel about Forge.
Okay, I like it. No, Forge is not mine. It was in Baku. No, it's not Forge, but I see, it going for the combo stuff. So definitely, not too far off. Mine right now is it's impossible not to pick it, even through and through. It's Deadpool. Yeah, I gotta go Deadpool, man. His pop-off is just so crazy. And with the Hulkbuster change, I even like it a little bit more. You gotta love Deadpool. He single-handedly just like why destroys popping off where it's at. And definitely have had fun playing him, man. And just, I'm in love with the character. It's impossible not to. I just rewatched the movies again. So Deadpool's mine. Talk to me about Spider-Ham. Why you love him?
Honestly, Spider-Ham, I think that especially when you're going into Conquest, I think you need an element of disruption. I think that the disruption's invaluable. I think that the reduction of She-Not allows you to play Spider-Ham with a little more, effectiveness. I think that Destroy packages hate being Spider-Ham. There's not a single card in Destroy that wants to get hit. Not a single damn card. Whether it's Carnage, whether it's Venom, especially Venom is a snap condition, right? Death, right? Locking Death in at 8 or 9 cost, whatever it is, right? Pretty significant. Ultimately, I think that Spider-Ham, I think it plays a very important role in this game. And yes, it's understated, but I mean, you cannot underplay what it is to turn a card, which you're probably playing for the text, right? You're not holding Crossbones hoping to get Spider-Hammed, right? And I think that ultimately Spider-Ham's disruption is important to the ability to kind of like catch your opponent by surprise and take advantage of the situation.
Never feels bad to play, never feels bad to draw. Every single time. You can usually combo with what you're drawing. You hit Jane Foster on your build deck, right? And you're like, snap, done. Like, that guy's done. That guy has no chance. Not even like, oh, he has no chance to win. Like, Sarah, done. There are cards that if you hit, they have to have that card. They had to have that little thing to, to get them going. You hit the null. Hey, have fun. Like, it definitely has so much weight carried to it. Never feels bad. I definitely love it, buddy. What about 2 cost? Let's go with the guessing game. You hit me first. What do you think I picked?
Before we go to 2 costs, I just want to bring up something that I noticed on the Spider-Ham variant that you bring up, which I know is one of your favorite variants in the game. It's Potato. Did you notice that? What? I never knew that.
I just read that at the exact same time as you. I didn't know. I didn't see that either. It's Potato, not Potato. It's another universe.
Yeah, it says Potato.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. Didn't see it. All right, what do you got, man? What do you got for my guess for me?
Yes, for you, I'm gonna say your favorite 2 cost was Ravona.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Did I get it?
It's Grandmaster. It's got to be Grandmaster.
I didn't want to pick Grandmaster because I was like, I don't. You just finished talking about Grandmaster. I literally would have picked Grandmaster. I didn't want to pick it though because I'm like, oh, maybe you'll say Ravona instead because you just poo-pooed on Grandmaster.
If it wasn't the Grandmaster, whatever, it would have been Hazmat. It was my second one just this month with the changes of like Luke Cage and stuff. What? Okay. Hazmat was my second one there. Yours two cost. Yours at 2 costs. Okay, a little bit tougher. I got to put my mind in Alex Coccia. I think you went with just the flavor pick, man. You went with Zabu.
Oh my god, how do you do this, man? It's not fair. I should just pretend like you didn't pick the right one. I'm like, nope, it was Sentinel. It was Sentinel all along, damn it. It was Zabu, 100%. How do you not love Zabu? He's coming back like full force, man. Zabu is once again meta. Like, he is legit an absolute centerpiece of the meta. He's impossible not to include in the decks. Like, he's been so good. And like Ravona, very similar to Ravona and Zabu, just right there. That those 2 costs, like, hey, I'm gonna make everything cheaper now. Awesome plays. Awesome. And I love the fact that now you choose. Do I want Ravona in my deck? Do I want Zabu? They're having this different approach to the games and the decks kind of development and design. I love it.
I don't know if he makes it. I'm gonna be honest. I think that they're either going to have to tone up all the 3 cost cards, or they're going to have to tone him down. His play rate with Shang-Chi, both of those guys are at like 60+%. It's like wildly above everything else. So when I say he could be a 2-1, but the cool thing is like he just does what he does or whatever. I don't know what they do with him. I just know looking at the stats, I'm a little worried. Right. And we've always been, me and you've always loved, we've been leading the Mufasa Club for a while. So definitely, a tad worried about him. But yes, he just is such a natural fit and he's the start of deck design. So no question there. I just don't doubt it. You get another shot, and I'm going to see if I can go 3 for 3. Oh, wait, no, I told you this one, though. I told you this one, so we can't do this one.
Yeah, but you have to tell me. Okay, first of all, we have to talk about your Hazmat deck. Like, I got to tell you, I was streaming, and I was playing against this deck. I was like, wait, hold on. I'm like, is this Cozy's Hazmat deck? What an absolute cook that was. So please, you got to talk to us about Hazmat, because you're the only one talking about Hazmat on the internet right now, because this card has completely been dumpstered, but you brought it back, you pumped the tires, so you have to, before we move on to 3s, you got to talk about Hazmat.
I mean, yeah, I got that from all you send everybody in my comment section in my videos. Like, I'm here because of Alex. He beat your deck on the stream, and I was like, I went to the stream right then. I was like, that SOB. Yes, Hazmat is still a dangerous card to play with. It was a ton of fun with both the Abomination package. I love that, but also in Annihilus packages that are already doing really good. Right now, we're in a big kind of flood the board meta. It just punishes decks. And now with Luke Cage, wow, she's like right back there in action. So, yep, a little bit of a cooked deck there, but you have a way to be able to play her with Debris. I loved Grandmaster with Debris. Loved that combo. Or you have the Hazmat with Debris with Grandmaster as well. So you have these kind of 1-2 combos that work really well. You can sneak out Abomination, or you could go ahead and avoid doing High Evo altogether. She just has so much more of an effect if you know when you're playing Hazmat and how you're playing Hazmat. Most of the time, even without Luke Cage, you're going to benefit more than your opponent.
Yeah, the Luke Cage change was huge for Hazmat. Also, God tier pixel, by the way. Unbelievably nice pixel.
Pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, I love Hazmat. I've always been on the greedier side of Hazmat, where I try like the classic Wong Hazmat absorbing man type stuff. But number 3, Cozy, I want you to guess first because you'll never guess. There's only one listed. It's the only one where I have only one favorite 3 cost.
One favorite 3 cost.
You'll never guess.
Sticking with your trend of what you've been going with, it's super. I don't think you go Thor because I think that there's no way you go Thor. You can't go Thor and Bill. So if you didn't go Thor, I'm gonna go Rock Slide.
You know what? I'm disappointed, Cozy. You got it wrong.
You
know why? Because it's Gambit. Get wrecked, noob. You were never going to pick Gambit because it was your favorite card as well. Gambit, come on, buddy. Gambit was my number 1 too.
You're playing
That's
Gambit?
why when you said you didn't want to talk about it, I was upset. I'm like, I want to talk about Gambit too.
You're playing Gambit over there? You're doing a little Gambit action?
Hell yeah,
dude?
I got the Wong Gambit action going when Meek was going. I got Meek to like 25 points, like on a regular basis. I was doing the greediest ass Wong Mystique. I was getting like Wave Onslaught out there. I was machine gunning. I had a deck called Machine Gun Meek. It was just pew, 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 pew all over the place. The only thing that ruined it was the amount of friggin' Wolverines that was getting to like 40 power because it was destroy everywhere.
Yeah, right. It's like we said that on my end, right? I think Gambit is right now just such a good card, such a fun card. You can kill the Zabu on 2, kill the, Gambit doesn't miss. You just play him and you're like, hey, don't miss, King. And he's like, I got you. And then he kills the squirrel and you're like, hey, try again, Grandmaster. All right, there you go. You got the Thanos or whatever it is. Yeah, man. Between discard playing that more so than ever, I had to go Gambit high up. I know I got a lot of comments. Like, why didn't you release your discard video that you talked about in the last Snapchat? I played it on stream. My stats are awesome now, sitting at 70 games. People saw the deck on stream. I saw it in the public. The numbers are fine. They're not exactly what I want, though. So I'm trying to make it where it's more dependable for public play, casual play. And you don't have to have, you don't have to play every day to get the best advantage. But yes, I love that we both picked Gambit, dude. That's insane.
You know what ruined Gambit too? And I lost a lot of 8 cubers because this guy, I never back down. I have this like I don't want to retreat rule whatever when I'm streaming and stuff. Kyra. I was like, guys, we always say Kyra first, right?
Yeah.
We always say Kyra first, and like Kyra's just sitting there like, hey, look at me. Right. I just dancing around all the shots, right? Never getting hit. I'm just like, damn you, Kyra, you sexy SOB, you 5-star beauty. You know what I mean? It's like, God damn.
I love it.
She ruined it. Kyra ruined Gambit.
Fair enough. And yeah, Destroy is kind of everywhere. 4-cost guessing game. Here we go.
I want you to guess for me. This one's easy.
Yeah, Darkhawk.
It's Darkhawk. It's 100% it's Darkhawk. I mean, the card's all the way back. But the reason why, I can't believe you keep getting these right, by the way. I just want to like roast you for picking wrong. But Darkhawk, I mean, with Blob getting kind of dismantled a little bit, Blob's play rate's coming down. It's not as popular. It's still good, but it's just not as popular. Darkhawk comes back up. It's funny how the game is like this rock, paper, scissors match that like we kind of forget about sometimes. Like everyone hates Blob. I hate Blob. Blob sucks. And it's like, hey, guess what? We just nerfed Blob. Oh, I hate Darkhawk. Someone's got to do something about Darkhawk, damn it. And it's like Darkhawk is just forever good, man. Forever good. A wise man once said, if you bought Darkhawk on day 1 of the token shop, it was the best tokens you've ever spent. Cozy Snap 2023. I gotta tell you, Cozy, you were right all along.
Year now. That's absolutely insane. I think, the thing about Darkhawk too is he just destroys the Thanos deck, and then on top of that, like he just has a couple locations that you're like, I win. Like and you could play around him, the Vibranium Mines, the Subterranea. Just love the way that he's built that way. And yeah, Blob is sinking down just a touch, which he shouldn't because his stats are still kind of bonkers. This should be easier for you, but what do you think my forecast is?
Has to be Wong.
Oh, yeah, man. It's funny because Wong, oh man, I feel bad because it's not Wong, but it is.
Come on. It has to be Wong.
It is Wong in the way that I've been playing this season, but it's Dracula right now with the discard cards, with the way that I've been utilizing them. If people want to know the way that I've been doing the discard deck, if you're able to Arnim Zola this guy, which you're like, what is Arnim Zola doing in I pretty much cooked up a Ravona discard deck that's actually super, super good. Loving it. 2 Draculas, double APOC hit is stupid. It's absolutely stupid, and it's an easy win. Ton of fun. Taking it through all the conquests. I've done really well. And I love the addition of him gaining the power. It feels way better now.
I wasn't a firm believer in Dracula being a straight up buff, but now I'm starting to see why that extra 1 power and the way it's keeping it's starting to make a little more sense. So, and hey, this season's very discard centric, right? People are thinking, oh, it's a Thanos season. It is, but discard's getting a lot of pieces this season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Dracula. We go to number 5. Okay, Cozy, I need you to guess first. If you hit this one too, I'm gonna be like, so this feels like, those like, I feel like we're in like couples therapy where like the therapist is trying to get us to like, hey, talk, and it's actually just making us hate each other more. It's like drifting us further apart. It's like the counter therapy. They're like, oh, so you guys know each other, you love each other. Like, Alex, what's Cozy's favorite ice cream? And I'm like, oh. It's vanilla, and you're like, oh, I hate vanilla. I would never eat vanilla first.
The board flip.
You don't know
The board flip, and it's like the one's dead right, the other one's like couldn't be further. Well, hey, buddy, I'm 3 for 1. The one was Gambit. That was a tough one. You would like maybe if you're watching, listening, he's gonna pick Jane, right? No, guys, it's Black Bolt, no question.
You got it wrong. You missed. You've been
now on the Black Bolt apologist tour over here, man.
I know I've been. Hey, you did this to me all along. I've been playing a lot of Black Bolt. But on my favorite list that I've got written here, that I got receipts for if I have to show them.
It's a nihilist?
It's the Man of Iron, baby.
Oh,
it's the Man of Iron.
Okay.
It's because I have fallen in love with Ravonna. In my Ravonna Grandmaster decks, how do you not include Iron Man? Like, Iron Man was such a good fit into so many of those decks, not just because of the fact that, like, it obviously doesn't directly synergize with Grandmaster, but I found, like, if you're playing a Ravonna deck with Grandmaster and you're doing all this disruption, Iron Man's a very natural fit there. Because I'm often playing Mystique in those decks, and I'm getting a little greedy. I just was finding turn 4 Iron Man, and the opponent's like, I'm not playing there. I am not gonna man fight an Iron Man. It just doesn't work that way, right?
Yep.
And honestly, I put like, whether it was like a Ronin, or whether it was a Darkhawk, or even like what I would do is I would have the option. On turn 6, right? Do I play the Darkhawk and then Mystique to copy the Darkhawk, or do I copy the Iron Man effect with Mystique and then play Darkhawk on the Iron Man, right? You have all this versatility with how you use Mystique, Iron Man, and all these ongoing effects. I gotta tell you, this card, I'm not going to say I've ever slept on Iron Man, but it's got to be one of the absolute best in the game that no one really appreciates.
Oh, yeah. It was funny when I was doing drafted decks with the viewers. Every time Iron Man came up, it was like, oh, let's pick Iron Man. Like, why would I not want that in my... We have a shot now, guys. Like, we can win that lane. Because what's cool is it gives you a game plan. You're like, okay, I'm going to win this lane, and then on this lane, I'm just going to play a couple and just benefit, reap the rewards. If it's Nidavellir or Monster Island, congratulations, you win as well. So it's, definitely like him. And then what does he do best? Shang-Chi. Doesn't matter, right? You can kind of get away from the Shang-Chi, play 7, 8s, and get the full benefit. I like it. Okay, what's my 5?
If I'm thinking really critically, I feel like you were kind of on the... I want to say you were really enjoying Lady Deathstrike.
Hey,
but I might be wrong.
It's not bad. That's a solid pick. Like, I definitely was playing more Lady Deathstrike than usual. I'd probably put it up there in the top 3. Hey, month after month, I get bored of it, man, but it's Legion. It's Legion every month, man. As far as, like, impact of the game, it's a bad example to say something to Spider-Ham, but it's like, it reminds me of that, where it's just like, you have a card that instantaneously can just win you the game just with him, even though you don't deserve to win the game. Iron Man does that to a good extent, so that was another great example. Legion is gotta be one of the most flexible cards in this game. I don't think I ever feel bad having him in a deck.
You know what, man? I'm the only thing I can think about right now is, like, we're about to divorce live on stream. If I don't get number 6,
you're over 5, yeah.
I haven't hit a single one, and you've been so close, because even Black Bolt was like so close.
I thought I nailed it. That one I was like, yeah, I'm about to easily hit that one. A 6 cost card. Will he get it? I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know yours.
I know what your 6
fair.
cost is.
I don't know yours. Okay,
I don't know.
I don't know yours. Like, I don't have like a leading, like, oh, it's got to be
I have
this.
a leader for you. Okay, this is where I make it up right now. Ready? Okay. All right. Cozy's number 1 6 drop of the past season was Hela. Come on, man. No. You're trolling. All right, I'll pay for the lawyer. I'll file the papers. It's fine.
Done. The relationship's done. We've got no compatibility. It's over. I'll take the kids. I don't know what do you want?
What do I want? I just want to join the witness protection program.
I want to find someone who actually loves me, Alex, who actually understands me. No, dude, I've mentioned his name. It's Arnim Zola. It's got to be the Zola in the Grandmaster season. Oh my God, I was playing Zola on every single deck. Grandmastering the Zola, playing Zola on Dracula. It's Zola 100%. No question. It's not Hela. I'm sorry. The divorce is finalized. But yeah, Arnim Zola's mine. Still love him. I've had Ravonna fever too, so definitely same kind of accord there. Cards like Iron Man going to 4 or Arnim going to 5 feel fantastic. I love this card, man. Here's the thing, though. I don't know yours, okay? And I feel like even if I guess it, Alex is like, nope. It's, nope. I'm going to go with Odin.
Honestly, this is so sad. I can't believe this. Why do you got to do this? Why do you embarrass me? I technically have Odin / Magneto for the record, so.
I was going to pick Magneto as my other one.
You know, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that we dress like a couple and ultimately break up live on the Snapchat, right?
It's over.
On the day that we're both repping the stripes, we just can't do it. Yeah, it's been Odin. It's been Odin. Listen, it's been the Asgard package. It's been the thing that I've enjoyed the most this entire season. I can't stop playing it, and Odin's just made me very happy. And I've even gone back to playing like Wong White Tiger Odin, and I'm like, this is pretty damn good too. We kind of forgot that White Tiger is actually an amazing card now, by the way.
Yeah.
I owe you an apology. I can't believe this. You've nailed every single one, and it's like I clearly don't know you, man. We gotta rekindle our relationship.
We have another month to do so. Hey, maybe he goes in the February. You guys look out for the next episode where we do this at the end of February. We'll see if the redemption arc comes out. Yeah, man. I think Odin is finally getting it. We don't talk about him much as a card that always continues to reap, rewards of every OTA, of every new card. If it has an on reveal, it has a potential to be busted with Odin. So, for once, I remember for a while, it was just kind of like your Scorpion Doom deck. And now there's just so many ways to win. If I Wong, or even if I don't, but if I Wong, do I play Dr. Doom? Do I play a bunch of cards like White Tiger and Ironheart? And it's so much hard to predict more what I could do with Odin. So I agree, man. Absolutely. No question about it. Have him towards the top, especially for you, bud. But yeah, so Alex went 0 for 6. I went. What did I go final? 4 and 2. 4 and 2.
I think were you 5 and you just missed Gambit because you would never have guessed the card that you picked, but I also picked too.
That was definitely a tough one, man. But hey, I forgive you. I forgive you. Tell me this? How are the Snapchat mailbag questions right now? How we got some good ones today?
Well, I'm getting a little teary-eyed, so it's going to be hard to read the questions. We got a few absolute beauties here as we enter the Snapchat mailbag. And as always, guys, if you're interested in asking Cozy and I a question, type mailbag down below, ask your question. We'll get to about 5 of them every single week. And if we don't get to yours, hey, try again next week. We're looking for the top spicy questions of the week. Now, I can't wait till next week when people ask me, how did you guys actually break up? Anyways, mailbag question number 1, coming from Andrew. What do you think about getting rid of the random Series 4 and 5 cards in the Spotlight caches? I really wanted Beta Ray Bill and spent 3 Spotlight caches as a free-to-play player, and it's really annoying and tedious to get.
I would say you're better off doing 1 Spotlight than 3. 3 is like the absolute worst because if you only have 3, you're right there. And if you miss, it's the worst feeling in the world, right? Because you think there's no way this third one is going to miss, and then you get it. Yeah, dude, it's annoying. It definitely sucks. I hate it. I've seen people that with the series drops, they like it because they have they don't like it, but they're getting more dependable cards that they want at random. But yeah, it's a not feel good mechanic. And so we don't love that. So yeah, I mean, I would be down for it.
I think it's good for as a catch-up mechanic for players that are like in early pool 3 or pool 4, like the pool 4 is not really the thing, but you know what I mean, right? Like the idea of it helps players catch up with their collections faster. For players that are more collection complete, I think it can be a little annoying for sure. I hate pulling the tokens. I hate it because I have 50,000 tokens. I've actually started buying the ultimate variants. I never used to, but I just don't need them, and it comes to a point where I'm like, you know what, I get it. I get that it's tedious and it sucks, but one thing I want to mention here, which I think is important, you should never be rolling less than 4. To be very clear, if there's a card you want to target, you should go into that Spotlight week saying, okay, I got 4 keys, and if I roll 1 and I hit it, boom, I won the lottery. I'm rolling those keys over to the next time that I want to actually go for another card, and I'm going 4. Always treat the Spotlight caches as if you got to roll 4 cards, 4 Spotlight keys for the card you want to get. And then if you roll less than that, that is pure bonus and you high rolled. It's one of those situations where if you just expect to be disappointed, then you just won't be disappointed.
Yeah, and someone out there got Galactus this week, Bill, and then the random card was Thanos, and they're just eating. They're just that person's not complaining. They're not on the internet. They're just playing the game probably at that point. But yeah, most of the time, a lot of us, definitely, it can hurt. But save them up, man. Save them up.
Question number 2 for our mailbag is, with the Marvel Universe, and this is from Cheezer, by the way, with the Marvel Universe being so huge, do you think Second Dinner adding a new card every week will eventually cause bloat to the game? Do you see a future where there is a limited format like other TCGs?
Limited format, what you mean? As in
kind of in Hearthstone, there's the wild format, then there's a standard format. So the idea of hey, you can only release cards, you can only play cards in ranked ladder and in conquest that have been released in calendar 2024, for instance.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. I just highly doubt it. I don't think the comparison to Hearthstone's tough because it's been broed. It's not going to happen. There's so many Marvel characters, dude. There's just so many. They're limitless. There's a lot of new cards. The OTAs help keep cards fresh. I don't think they do limited. I could be wrong. Now, Yes and no. I don't know if they'll ever say this release and forward. I think if they do, it might be like Avengers versus blank, and you have to use those cards in some game mode that week. I could see that.
I think that the major concern is that like so other traditional cards, the reason why, like, for instance, Magic the Gathering would utilize kind of like standard and extended in different formats, because they would often reprint cards, right? They would reprint cards. We don't really have that in Marvel Snap. We don't have like a lightning bolt that's being repeatedly kind of reprinted over and over again to be consistent. They just keep that card relevant in the meta for as long as they need it to be relevant. What happened with Hearthstone specifically was that they were releasing all these different cards, and remember, they would release like 250 at a time in a set, right? It was impossible for them to be like, okay, if we're releasing 250 cards at once, what are the chances that one of the classic cards are going to completely break the game from a balance perspective? Because like you can't test across thousands of cards, right? You just can't do it if you're releasing them 250 at a time. So that's why they developed those formats. But as one at a time being released, that gives Glenn an opportunity to say, okay, is this card going to screw up the meta or not? No? Okay, let it go. Ship it. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that the casual drip is probably preventing that situation from happening. We got a question here from Master, and it reads, what was your favorite meta of all time? For example, mine was the Silk meta when Captain Marvel and Spider-Man got buffed. Now, Coccia, I know I'm catching you by surprise here. I'll give you a second to think, but mine, I don't know if this is a cop-out or not, but I'm going to say it's this meta right now. I've actually really enjoyed this meta right now. I feel like brewing is really good. I feel like we don't have particular decks that are running like 65%. We don't have the Lokis. We don't have the Elsas. There's a lot more brewing. I think that the win rates are very compressed. I feel like anything can win. I feel like Conquest even. Yeah, okay, Sir Control's damn solid, but I feel like you can take a good brew into Conquest, catch people by surprise, get that Infinity ticket. I really like where we're at right now, honestly.
That's such a tough one, man, because there's been so many metas. Like, I enjoyed Elsa's meta a ton. I liked like when Balance was doing really good too, and Balance was just like a way different played than kind of what it is now. There was a meta where like you had Patriot, like I think it was like called Gunner Patriot or whatever. Like that whole meta was like just a ton of fun. I remember that being very diverse, a lot of decks to play within that. So I don't know if I have like a dead pick. I always liked when Patriot decks with Ultron were kind of on top. A lot of fun flavor picks there. It would have to be because I loved dependable discard and all that back then. I feel like I have to include that. So yeah, I'm gonna say something around like the Elsa meta.
I also just want to shout out the original launch of the game where everyone was card collecting at the same time, climbing through the pools. No one had the same meta-based deck, and someone's like, oh, I just unlocked Magneto, time to throw it in just for the memes, right? And you could never predict what your opponent was going to play because they sure as hell didn't have a complete collection. You didn't have a complete collection. That was like Marvel Snap at its peak, I think. That was some of the best, and we'll never get it again. Never get it again. That was some of my most enjoyable moments with the game, and I mean, it'll never be forgotten in my heart, I'll tell you that. Our next question comes from Guildpack, and it reads, I'd love to know your favorite titles in Marvel Snap. I also want to say that I always love seeing these videos pop up, so thank you for keeping me engaged in this phenomenal game. I probably would have quit if it wasn't for Alex and Cozy. First of all, thank you so much for your kind words. Honestly, this is the best thing we do every week. We say it all the time that it's the most fun we have, and Cozy and I look forward to this. We record for like hours. This is like a 3-hour recording session here, and honestly, it doesn't feel like it because I'm just talking to one of my best friends about a game I love, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it too. So thank you for that, Cozy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your favorite title, buddy?
My favorite title. So the one I have on all as staple is Or Is It typically. So because I've never changed my name. Like I love Dexter. He's on like name number 50 over there. Like I have just been. I think you too, man. I think we're like the only two that have you ever changed your name on Snap?
Never once.
Never once either. Like I'm like and by the way, I streamed yesterday and I had a guy in the chat saying I'm watching you like as I play. So like I'm experiencing the stream sniping and I don't even care. Like so I have as my title, Or Is It? Because I like the people. My variants, give it away if you ever want to know. If there's not a gold variant or whatever in there, you're probably not playing me. But like, Or Is It? I always have like, I didn't know. I have no idea. Did I play him? Did I not? I love the game of it. So that's mine.
There's been 3 that I've used almost extensively. 1, my absolute favorite forever has been Absolute Garbage. I love seeing my name and then Absolute Garbage right underneath it. It sets the tone for the match. So that's one way to, right? You know what I mean? And the second one that I've used almost always, and it goes with my infinity bordered Dan Hip Moon Girl, is the goggles do nothing. Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? I absolutely love it. She's got the huge goggles and it's like the goggles do nothing. A classic Simpsons reference. But lately, the reason why I picked this question, Cozy, so I opened 250 caches, 250 reserves, right? Collector's Reserve. I was so depressed. Like I was pulling garbage. Nothing. Terrible variants, pixels. Like it was like the worst. I was gonna make a YouTube video out of it, but the opening was so bad. I just deleted it. I'm like, no one wants to watch this crap. Like no one wants to watch me open titles and pixel variants, right? It's just garbage. We pulled one title where I was looking, I'm like, how is this a title? And it was in all caps, and it was pants. 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 I was like, what's this mean? Like, how can pants be a title? Like pantaloons? Like what I'm wearing on my body, on my person? Right? Is that what we're talking about here? So I made it my title, and chat loved it. They're like, pants is funny, right? And so I'm like, how can this be a title? So I made pants the title for everything. And then I ended up discovering, Cozy, I don't know if you knew this, but do you know that pants in England is actually the way you say something sucks? So if I want to say, oh, this deck sucks, I would say this deck is pants.
No way.
I didn't know that.
I don't think I knew that. Definitely didn't know that. I was at Bullocks or something. Yeah, I didn't know pants, really. I
pants is apparently the way you say something sucks in England.
They do a lot of common, like, did you know, like, if I were to say, like, wow, look at that bird over there, what would that mean?
You're looking at a blue jay?
Exactly. It's a woman. Like, got a couple birds there. It's like a lady. I think I might be botching that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we've got pants and birds. There you go. That's it.
It's just basically you guys are learning about the vernacular of the English territories in Europe. That's what this podcast is. Welcome to the England chat
from a Canadian and an American. Yeah, right.
But thank you guys so much for joining this week. It really does mean the world to both Cozy and I. And if you have the time, I would perhaps encourage you to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. We would certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you on that next Marvel Snapchat episode.